Hey guys, my name is Stacy Bull and I'm the photographer behind Illy Studios. As many of you may know, I started a vlog series to kind of show you guys a little bit more about who I am and a behind the scenes look into my business. The first episode kind of dealt with just learning a little bit more about who I am, and this episode is about my why and photography and how it has impacted me throughout my life. So I basically, for this episode, I pulled from 4 different blog posts on my website. On my website's blog, it's broken into weddings, couples, travel, and personal. And these are just a couple from my personal section. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the art of photography. And this one just kind of explains how I went to college for art with an emphasis in photography. And at first, I thought I would learn mostly about photography and digital and how to run a business and all that stuff. And it ended up being mostly heavily focused on art, which ended up being a blessing in disguise because I learned how to evoke emotion and meaning in my work. And it also really helped me become personable and relate to different types of people. Because in art school, there's so many different cultures, viewpoints, personalities. So it definitely helped me be able to learn how to relate to my clients, whether they be similar to me or different to me. And I'll also like bridal party, wedding guests. And I also, one of the biggest things that I learned in school that carried on throughout my business was that people are drawn to an image and imagery based on how it makes them feel or how they felt in that moment versus just aesthetics alone. And I used to think it was just aesthetics, the technical skills behind it, like the aperture and the focus and those elements. And I'm really learning that it's more about the emotions it brings up for people. And that's carried over into my work as well, especially with weddings and engagements. The second blog post I pulled from was Passion Behind Photography. And that just kind of explains like the history of my life with photography. I've always, ever since I can remember, had a camera in my hand, whether it be disposable, digital, and then eventually a cell phone. I always felt this overwhelming urge to capture everything, and I never really knew why, and I started to explore why I felt that urge, and I learned that it's just because I truly loved my life. I loved the people in my life, I loved the moments, I loved capturing the world around me, because I just had a great appreciation for life, and my life in particular. And so that was really, meaningful for me to learn. And I also learned that a photo is literally a physical form of a memory that you can hang on your walls and hold in your hands, and that's just awesome. I still just am blown away that photography is even a thing. Like, it still impresses me and blows my mind that we're able to capture a moment in time and freeze it and hold on to it forever. The third blog post that I reference is Photographs Over Time, and that one kind of just deals with the digital, like the difference between film and digital and how photography has evolved over time. And quality versus quantity. So, it used to be you only have a certain amount of images on a roll, so you have to be more careful with what you're doing and think about it more and put more meaning into it. And I learned that heavily in school doing film. And although I can, with my digital camera, just capture a bunch of images, learning that, to put that meaning and time behind it has been important for me with weddings, because you could capture 20 average images, but why not take your time, put in the work and get 5 really impactful images. So that's carried over. So my film is carried into my digital. And also just past versus present, the kind of content we capture. Because when we shot film in the past, people would capture really important things like events and people. And now with digital and cell phones, we capture everything and anything throughout the day. And I, kind of explored like, why is that? And I started to feel like the things that we capture now, whether it be selfies or our food, and crazy amount of images of our pets. Like, I'm like, it just seemed ridiculous to me, and I'm no better. I do the same things. I'm probably worse than most people. But I was kind of talking with someone about it, and they pointed out that we wouldn't have captured that moment if it didn't mean something to us. So even though the photo may seem more meaningless, a picture of our food versus, this big family event, if it meant something to you in the moment, it still means something. Another blog post that I pulled from is what being a wedding photographer means to me. And I kind of talk about how it's photographer versus your friend. Like, we are your photographer, but at the end of the day, we feel like your friend. Like, I've had so many weddings where I leave, just embracing people like we've been friends forever. And I started the day with them being strangers, whether it be bride and groom, their parents, bridal party. Just the fact that I can start the day being strangers and end embracing like we're old friends just always makes me feel so fulfilled. And I leave with just a huge smile on my face. I also kind of hit on this in the first episode, but I'll reiterate that I just feel so blessed, humbled, and honored to be able to do this as a job. And I can't believe that I get to capture these moments that you guys are creating. And I already love photography and think it's so awesome, and the fact that I get to document and witness love and do something that I already am so passionate about and use it to capture something like that is kind of the reason behind my why. So thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit more about photography throughout my life and the why behind my business. And I'll see you guys next time.